I'm fine.
Go for it.
We can talk about whatever.
Wait, is it on?
Yeah, I'm recording. Yeah, the mic's here. So
Oh. What's up, fellas? What's going on? We're here at MomoCon 2024. My name is Glenn Malone with Complete Nerd Authority, and I'm gonna go down from your right, my left, so they can all introduce themselves, and then we actually have a conversation. Sound good?
all right.
Gucci.
My left, go down. Come on, man, you follow directions.
Okay.
This here go down.
Lord have mercy.
All right. I'm Q. I have a YouTube channel called Pop Tech. I interview celebrities. I do reviews of cons, and
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Josh, aka Jantmore. You know, been 4 years interviewing voice actors, musicians, all that. Got pop culture talk on my YouTube at Jantmore. Instagram going crazy, Jantmore TV. First time doing press for any convention period. So appreciate that, yeah. And definitely been experienced. Glad to be here. Glad to be doing this with these fine folks. And let's get into it.
Tafari TV on all platforms. That is Tafari TV, because I know some folks can't spell it or say it. But I also do a lot of boots on the ground work such as this for the Blerd's Eye View podcast, so you can also catch me there Tuesdays and Thursdays.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Mark. I host a YouTube channel called Blerdography, and I do a podcast called Blerdcast, where we talk about all things black and nerdy and cosplay photography, because that's just what I like to do.
So let's talk about a cherry pop, right?
All right.
Is that all right?
All right.
So I think that's always a good conversation to establish. So what was that that moment for you? Anybody can speak up, but what was that moment for you getting into press or deciding that you want to interview voice actors, pop culture people? Like, what was that moment for you that you were like, hey, I think I can do this?
I'll go first unless anyone
Sure.
else wants to
yeah,
go
you
first.
gotta go first. You gotta go. You got.
Okay, then. All right. It all started by chance, actually. Funny enough, I'm a massive Linkin Park fan. Like, I love. It's my favorite band.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, my favorite. He knows ball. My favorite band of all time. And when Chester Bennington passed, I was like crazy.
Yeah.
But his band, Linkin Park, was not Chester Bennington's first ever band. His first band was a band called Grey Days. And in late 2019, they'd announced that they were doing a post-Trumasterous album, bringing back older songs that they did. And by the time they had started to roll stuff out, the pandemic had hit. And, we're all in our rooms, chilling, can't really do much. And I don't know why this thought came to me. I don't know why, but I said I wanted to interview one of them. I don't know. I don't know. It's the most randomest thing. And I reached out to the band management, whoever ran their account, and they were like, no, we're not going to do that. I was like, oh, dang. And I told them, because I think they thought I was doing like a documentary or something, and they already had done that. And I was like, no, I want to interview I want to interview all the members. And they were like, okay, we'll look into it. And they gave me their bass player, Mace Bayers, the bass player for the band. And from then on, it's just sprouted into a 4-year-long journey. And going strong since then.
That's good.
That is such a sick answer. Like, I wish I had that for my answer. I'm gonna go ahead and go next. Sorry for jumping the gun, everybody. But
It was open. It was open for anybody to go. So
Go
anybody
ahead,
jump
go
no gun. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
all right. So for me personally, like when I started my YouTube channel, it was like, oh, one day I would love to be invited to come and do press and things like that. But I never thought I could because my numbers weren't there, the quality of my work wasn't there. And then one year, I went to a little convention, Winterfest, presented to you by MomoCon. They had a convention.
Shameless plug.
But we'll talk about that. But I went to Winterfest. I was just like, I don't know how to shoot vlogs. I don't know how to interview people. So let me just see whoever let me put my camera in their face. I did that. I made a couple of vlogs, a couple of videos, just highlighting like cosplayers of color and black nerds and things like that, and just getting a different point of view of what it's like to kind of go to a con. A couple months later, I'm just talking to someone, and they're like, hey, you should do press for MomoCon. And I'm like, MomoCon, it's such a big con, there's no way. I got like 100 subscribers, and like I misspelled Winterfest, presented to you by MomoCon, and it's still there on the thing. And
Be for real though, come on, yeah.
She said, don't matter, just apply. And I'm like, all right, I'll apply. And 5 seconds later, I was approved. I was like, wait a minute, somebody set me up. But the person told me they saw, the right person saw my Winterfest video. They saw what I was doing and what I was about, and just the genuineness of just wanting to like highlight like people of color, people in the nerd space just geeking out and just having fun. And they was like, we want that for MomoCon. And I did MomoCon first time in 2022, my first time doing press for any convention officially in the geek space. I've done this professionally for other things like hair shows, but this one meant something to me because I'm a nerd and obviously I'm passionate about this stuff. And oh my God, MomoCon 22 was great. I met most of y'all there. Then last year I met the rest of y'all, and then you this year, and it's opened up so many doors. I have officially hit the apex. My main goal was to get press for Dragon Con, and this year I accomplished that goal.
Hold on, blessings, yes.
I just be applying for places to be surprised I got in.
Oh God, it's okay. Like you don't even. Yeah,
like
you don't even.
I did radio in college, and we used to do like interviews with like student council and like people running for like office on campus of the president of the university, and that was cool. Then I goofed and was like, why not? I applied for a Trump rally and got in. And I'm like, I swear to God, there's a photo somewhere on the internet. And you would look, who photoshopped the black kid in the DBZ between the lady from
Oh, you that dude.
from
You
CNN?
that
No, I'm
dude.
finna
You
do
that dude.
It was a town hall meeting in De Pere, Wisconsin at St. Norbert. I know because we used to run track meets out there. I'm sitting between like a lady from CNN and Fox News. I'm just holding the iPhone like I don't belong here.
yeah.
Like you see me walking across campus, we look like three students who just don't fit. I'm like, well, that worked. So then I came home.
Yeah.
I started working in real radio, and the week we started doing, I was like, I can start doing press. We switched from hip hop to alternative. I'm like, cool. I don't know who none of these people are, but I would always do interviews, and they're like, oh, you got like a real good personality. I'm like, cool. You're not gonna know my name after this, and I'm not gonna know yours. But it was nice talking to you. So then I started doing local election stuff in the city of Ocoee because we had a lot of, they're trying to bury our history and stuff. And I found out, I went to Ocoee High School, we had things I didn't know happened in our town. And I helped bring a lot of that to light. And I was like, that was fun, but the black flag can get kind of sad and depressing sometimes. So I was like, let me just apply because I didn't realize DreamCon was right up the street from where I moved in Texas. So I was like, let me just apply and see if they get to me. And they was like, okay, you can come. And then everyone else, and then Dragon Con last year, Blerd Con last year, and then I've been helping Blerd's Eye since I'm on the ground and good with talking to people or good with introducing people to one another. I like building a lot of blurred bridges, so you may not see my face a lot. Don't get used to this. But I do a lot of behind-the-scenes work. So whether it's, I don't gatekeep anything. If you want to know where I got a shirt, where I got a camera, where I got a mic, I'm always going to share those resources. So that's, I think, what opened a lot of doors for stuff like this and just the people I've met.
I think that's important, especially for us as black people, especially Blerds. It's very important for us to not gatekeep and share and bring in that love and bring in that sense of community because oftentimes, let's look at the recent thing that just came out of Assassin's Creed Yakuza. We're seeing all these utterly disgusting and barbaric reactions to a historic figure. Yakuza was a real person, a real human being, and we're getting all these visual reactions. People talk about, oh, the George Floyd skin just dropped for Assassin's Creed, and all this horrible rhetoric, and we see, even you know what I'm saying?
I kept scrolling past it, and I thought they were just being funny. I didn't realize they actually...
But even if it was, like, how do you feel comfortable as a human being saying something so derogatory and so nasty to us? Because you know the history that we've gone through, what we still go through in these spaces. We're such a small minutia of a larger
hold on,
thing.
some cameras stop. I just heard some cameras stop. Let me just check.
We're in a hold.
We're
We're in a hold, folks. We are in a hold. That too.
No, because they're behind the screen.
We good?
Yeah, keyboard.
It's all of that. It's
Yeah.
all of that.
Keyboard
It's all of that.
It's easier to have a voice behind a keyboard with no face and say what you
Yes.
want to say. But then, who we interviewed, who said the same, they met the people who said something about them in person. And they
Cloudy.
Said, Cloudy, yeah. Cloudy said he had somebody who was talking junk about him online, and he saw them in person. He knows him in person. They said nothing to him. It's easier to be that person behind the screen.
They call it keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
That's been going on.
Bandwidth Bloods, Keyboard Crips.
Man, that's been going on since about 2016. It's been a while. For things like that. But you have some really good points. But how'd you get into it?
So I actually went to a con. I'm from North Carolina. I went to a con there. I just happened to have my phone out and was recording some content and just talking to some people. And I didn't have press or nothing like that. And I just asked them, hey, do you mind if I just ask you some questions? I had no questions prepared or nothing like that. And they just let me do it. And then maybe a year after that, I actually applied for press. I didn't know it was a thing to apply for press. Even then, I still was using my phone then, and I have footage from, if you look back with me with George Chris, he's the voice for Beast Boy. My first interviews with him was horrible. And I'm not gonna lie.
That's probably.
No, I'm just laughing because that's. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Because the first interview I did with him, audio was trash. The second interview I did with him, I ran out of memory. And he was nice enough, he was recording as well, so he gave me the copy of what he recorded. So I just tagged it on to what I did. But I used all that to get better. And every time I say, I need to learn something new. That's what you should be doing. You should not be stationary and just think that what I have is perfect. So every con I've been doing, I've been, like you said, applying places. Yeah. You hear more no's than you hear yes. But what you do is, I've been taking those no's. If they give me a reason why they said no, okay, then let me see if I can X this out and do I apply next year for it.
Correct.
Like GalaxyCon, I applied to them last year, and I got a no from them. This year I applied. They said, yeah, sure, come on. Mm-hmm. So something I changed up what I did, and I fit their criteria. And so just adjusting who you are to get to where you want to get to. And that's what I've been trying to do every year, pretty much.
Man, so that's a really good story. Mine's not as, I don't necessarily know as interesting as everybody else's, but the whole initial thing when it comes to conventions, back in 2014, me and a friend of mine loved DC, loved actually Arrowverse, loved stuff like that. And so we heard about a convention and we wanted to go, and we wanted to get in actually free, so we volunteered at Pensacon. Okay? So we volunteered at Pensacon and we saw everything's going on, and then we're like, man, it's actually really cool. The next year was like, I wonder if we could be panelists, because we had these conversations all the time. And so we decided to apply to be panelists. They approved us all 3 days, right? And so we were like, well, let's step this up a little bit. Let's see if we can get press. And we applied for press, and they actually approved us because of how well we actually did our panels, right? And so that was our first time ever doing it, and it was really good. Our first interview was with Michael Rucker, because Michael Rucker, he's actually from Cordova, Alabama, okay? Because I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. So he's from Cordova, Alabama. And we said, hey, we went by and said, we want to speak to you. He said, hey, where you guys from? Alabama. Oh, I'm from Alabama too. What you guys doing? And we said, yeah, we actually interview stuff like that, interviewing actually different guests and everything. He said, yeah, come by XYZ time and do an interview with us. Okay, we can do that. So then we actually interviewed him, and it was absolutely amazing. He got the crowd loud. We actually had a good conversation. He talked about what's going on, and so we actually had that video. Now, case in point, this is something that I want to share with you guys as well as other people, is the next time we actually applied for press at Pensacon, we got declined. Why did we get declined? We got declined because, and this is not a negative thing, again, this is teaching, right? Because I like sharing information with everybody. We got declined because we did not get approval from the agent nor the convention to have the interview on the floor. So some cons don't like you to interview on the floor, and we didn't know. We were new, so we coming in this brand new, trying to do some things, trying to build and stuff like that, and so I say that it was great doing it, but at the back end, it actually wasn't that great. But I say that to say that it's good to actually find out, talk to the people, network, like you guys are talking about, so that you kind of find the niche, and even new or old, of how things actually operate so you can actually understand it. So that's kind of what my story is. But I have been applying for other places, get in, get out. Like we just got approved for Iron City Comic Con in Alabama to do actually media there too as well. The Mecca for me was, it wasn't necessarily press to do Dragon Con. The Mecca for me is actually to do our panels at Dragon Con, but congratulations to you on actually doing Dragon Con. But, so that's kind of actually my journey when it comes to first time doing press and all that stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, you talk about the Mecca for being approved for press. I guess mine would be for New York Comic Con. which is like the third largest Comic Con,
Mm.
to be approved for press for them.
That's on that
Jealousy
list
level
too.
just rose a little bit.
That's on the So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, you talk about the Mecca for being approved for press. I guess mine would be for New York Comic Con, which is like the third largest Comic Con,
Mm.
to be approved for press for them.
That's on that
Jealousy
list
level
too.
just rose a little bit.
That's on that list too for me. Yeah.
So I've talked about on my page how I have imposter syndrome, because
Yeah, he said he's not black, so you got to go with that.
No,
You
but
got the Yasuke burner account.
I'm so glad you brought that up because like that imposter syndrome, especially with what we do, that's real. Because I still feel like why am I even here?
I think that's a common thing for all artists too.
So, question. So, is that really imposter syndrome, or is that being humble? Because imposter syndrome for me is taking yourself and putting yourself on a plateau that you are not even near yet. But a humble person would enjoy and appreciate the moments they're in, to be able to say, "Hey, I don't believe I need to be here, but I have put the work in to get here, and I'm just going to appreciate when I'm here." I'm asking. That's an asking question.
No, you're right, and I do want to address that because that's literally the thing I have learned this con. Let me answer that. So, I'm the type of artist or creative that I'm super hard on myself.
Okay.
I super take this seriously, and I overthink every step of the process. Like even last year, we kind of had like a weird interaction, and it didn't kind of feel right. That's because
Hey,
like,
listen.
hold on, I'm just being honest. But
Hey, it's
like,
cool. It's cool.
But it was just like the introduction was kind of bad, and I'm the type of person like if I feel or think a certain way, there's nothing I can do to not show that, and that's part of my problem. But
You wear your emotions on your sleeve.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I'm like, I take this seriously. I know X, Y, and Z about this stuff, and then somebody comes on and jokingly makes jokes, and you like just kind of take it the wrong way. I took it the wrong way.
Okay, well that's fair. Thank you for sharing that. And I didn't mean it.
No, I know that.
I'm just a funny. Like I try to be entertaining. I try to just, But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off.
And I get that now, but it was like at the time I was like, I'm doing press. There's so many interviews, and my team is doing this, and my team is doing this, and somebody came up and said some joke, and I'm like, wait, what? Are you serious? Are you serious? And then I
100%.
laid out on the floor to show my disbelief in what I just heard, and then I just was like, all right, I'm done.
Yep.
I got to go focus on this stuff. This is weird. I said all that to say this. I didn't mean to air out grievances live on tape.
I mean, we're all good.
So let me say this right before you get that.
Right.
So my thing is, as men, okay, boys hide their emotions or they show their emotions with action, right? Boys, men, we communicate our emotions. If I don't like something, hey man, I didn't like how you did X, Y, and Z, but I wanted to tell you and see if you give me an opportunity to fix it, right? Because I mean, man, I didn't know that I did my bad. Like I was really just being funny. I didn't mean to actually have any kind of offensive things, right? So I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, and again, like, I knew that I was under a lot of pressure. Like, even this con, like, everyone's been saying, oh, you're doing the documentary and all this and that. And, like, again, going back to the whole imposter syndrome thing, I'm like, I am struggling trying to make this happen. Like, y'all see me running around here and there.
That's why I told you, I'm like, bro, I'm in town for a month. Just let me know when you need me. I will meet you wherever.
Right, and like, I'm learning from my team. Like, I got to learn when to accept help. I got to learn when
Absolutely,
to
that is
say no. I got to learn to
Yep.
know when I'm doing too much and when I haven't done enough. And again, going back to the whole imposter syndrome thing, like you said, like, I feel like that I've been accepted that I'm on this level, but I haven't earned that yet. And that's why, like, stuff like last year for me at Dragon Con was so humbling because it kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. Still steps to go, but you are there. The success, the people see the potential.
So I'll just piggyback one thing. Most voice actors you talk to all have a humble syndrome to where they didn't know they were going to get to where they were. And when they get to that plateau, they still don't deserve it. Even AJ sat here, which is explaining like he still does not feel like he's made the mountaintop. Right? And so that's something that I take for any of those conversations I've ever had with any voice actors, that they all, or even actor, that even talking to Dean Cain, I talked with Dean Cain at Hustle Apocalypse. He is very humble. Like that plateau of becoming Superman doesn't change who he is, right? So that's just something I just want to put out there. But go ahead, anybody else?
I think that's
I would-
something we just naturally, you can go next, we deal with just because we so used to having, from the time we was kids, having opportunities denied from us. So when we get them, it's like, it normally don't go like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen,
What I was gonna say is, as Black people, we are also taught that we have to work 10 times harder to be just
Yeah,
as good.
yeah.
And I feel like we deal with that a lot because it's like we're just networking and talking. And we're seeing that a lot of opportunities are coming our way, and I'm not saying that we're not putting in the work, but it's like coming a lot more easier than we maybe would have expected. So I would say that that is also cause for like, oh, really? Wait, you know what I'm saying? And it causes us to pause because it's like, we're taught that we have to go mode all the time. And yes, that is true. We all work hard. We all work diligently to get anywhere that we want to go. But it's like we're seeing all the success. We're like, still can't believe it,
I have a question though. When I first started doing my content creation, I was watching other people stuff, who were, of course, better and had bigger numbers and stuff. But then I started looking at what I was doing. I said, "Hold up, why am I doing something completely different than them, better than to me and better than them, but I'm not getting their numbers?" Do you ever have that feeling? And like, do you still look at those people? Like, I can't look at those people that I used to look at because I can't. It's not that I don't respect them, but just that I don't see myself in them no more.
So yes, so let me I can answer that question because that I've been doing this since 2017. So it's what 2014 now. I've been doing this since 2017, doing this whole thing, creating stuff like that, and trying to mimic others. Right.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I've learned over the years is about building a community for yourself. Right. The reason why they have what they have because they built a community based on what they're doing in their content. You have to build that same type of community for yourself and get connected to those that want to follow you. And that's how you're going to become wherever stage you want to be because it's about the community. It's not even about trying to catch what we call the, what's the word I use? It's trying to get the golden goose or the shiny star, right? Trying to catch that shiny star, whatever it may be, because that's where the stress comes into play. When you're sitting there chasing the shiny star, right? Trying to be the first person to review this video or be the first person to do this trailer. That stuff gets you. That stuff is
y'all
stressful,
have ruined the
right?
gaming space. Stop.
Right? So, I don't know. I don't play a lot of games. I watch a lot of TV
You
stuff.
get dudes who like the game came out today. Cool. I'm gonna just burn through the game, upload every cutscene, and then get on Twitter and complain how it was too short.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So there are certain stages that you should, if you want to chase the shining star, but be efficient in it, right? You're not going to be able. It's going to be really hard for you to do everything by chasing the shining star because because you don't have the insight. If you had the insight, like you got the leak or you got the scoop before it comes out, like you have the date before the trailer drops, you have the time, then it can be easier for you because you can schedule it.
Right.
But because you're moving at the pace of everyone else, you're going to have to decide this is what I'm going to do and what I'm going to do only.
Right.
I can't do everything else. Like, for instance, if you wanted to review the new Superman series, the second season, they did a 2-hour special Saturday, and you wanted to watch it and you wanted to review it right after it come out, well, that wasn't going to happen with you being here. You see what I'm saying? So you got to pick and choose your battles that's mentally successful for you, or combine yourself, network with others that do stuff like that's what they want to focus on, and say, hey, bro, like I want to take your content and put it on mine, but I want to share your tags, stuff like that based on my community. I want to share it with your community and vice versa, right? That's what's going to allow you to get to that stage, because when you talked about working 10 times harder, that's actually wrong. It's what it is, not wrong in an offensive way. What it is what we wasn't taught was not to connect with people that do things different from me. Because if you're going to work 10 times harder, you got to work 10 times harder, smarter. I'm going to focus on this, but then I have this guy here that's on the left-hand side that likes to do photography. Hey, man, come here. I'm going to pull you in. We're going to work this together. I don't have to take those 10 steps. I can take 2. You could take 2 with me, and we just made 4. See what I'm saying? That's powerful, right?
Yeah.
So then that's the thing that one thing that I failed at doing this whole organization is that I thought that I had to have things my way and the way I want to look specific ways so that I can get those clicks. So I can get those things that everybody else is doing, because if it wasn't done that way, it's not going to actually get no traction, blah, blah, blah. But when people separate from you and they start getting traction by doing it their way, you start realizing like, well, damn, I should, excuse the language, well, damn, I should have backed off. In my mind mentally saying, hey, listen, go do it. And however we get there, let me focus on what I know I'm good at and do the things we do so we can take steps forward. And the brand that I have could definitely be 10 times probably bigger than what it is. And I'm trying to show no shade because of how many people come and go. But because of those reasons that I think that the Lord put me through this stuff, is just so that I can share those with others. Because there's only one, and it's stubbornness, but there's only one reason. If you're still doing this and you've had a lot of failures before you had success, and I'm talking about, I could tell you a lot of stories with a lot of different things, from losing a YouTube channel, like getting shut down, and that has over 500 subscribers that I've built up for 5 years. Losing a Facebook page that had 2,500 followers on there, shutting that down too. Like, there's things that I have done, but I'm still continuing. That makes sense? Like, I'm still pushing. So I just want to put that to you, for you guys, so we're saying that you don't have to put everything on your plate. Align everything up. What are you good at? I'm good at this, this, and this. I know what do I need? I need this, this, and this. And find those people that can do it.
Let me ask you this, because this
Sure.
is literally, again, this year, right now, is the lesson I'm learning, putting too much on my plate. How do you learn, or how do you learn to let go, to trust the team you have built to do things?
So, man, that's okay.
Because
So
I had to
no-
list off my team this entire con because I couldn't let go.
okay, so
But I
number one,
think subconsciously you trusted them enough to bring them here,
Yeah.
and that, whether you realize it or not, is what allowed you to go ahead and let them tackle that. So you gave them the keys, you just got to let them drive.
well, so okay, I get your point on that, right? But in a mental standpoint, from a person in his mindset and what he got going on, and not trying to, from what I did the same thing. And the problem is, number one, you have to know what those people are good at. Number two, you only can give them so much at one time. So if they're good at, you give them 2 tasks, and that's all I want you to do. Or you talk to them like, what do you think that you are good at, that I can trust and push you to do? Because what we tend to do is we tend to talk to ourselves like it's ourselves. And when you do that, then that's what's going to push people away. So you have to get them to come to you, or you have to talk to them on what they know they're good at. And this is I only want you to focus on this. Now, when they master that and they say, I want something else more, then that's when you give them something else more. It's hard when you're not getting paid, you're working on the ground floor, you work at grassroots, you cannot put so much on people when you're not paying them, right? And I don't know the situation, okay? I'm just talking about for me, right? Even though you give them a free badge, you give them a free pass, and so getting to enjoy themselves, because that's the mentality, and then you know they could do this, and I'm depending on you doing this because I gave you a free pass. But people get overwhelmed very quickly.
Yeah.
And so if you don't find out what they are willing to do that you agree with before you hand the badge to them, have a conversation. Communication is key. Have a conversation about what do you think you're good at, because this is my business, what I want to do. This is everything. I paint the picture for you. This is all I want to do. Where can you fit in this picture? Or where can you fit in this puzzle? Then that's when you could take off stuff off your plate and actually be easy for you. Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
it
no,
does.
you
It
good.
does.
I know, like,
seriously,
yeah.
you have humbled me. Like, I've been going,
Yeah.
my team hates me. They all wanted to quit last night. I was like, no, we got to get this done. We got to get this done. But this was the issue I was having, was just learning to let go.
Been
And like,
through it.
I'm here because of the
It's a
same
learning.
team of people. I'm here because of that. We were able to get this passes because they have been helping me over the years. And this was like, all right, this is my pet project. I've been talking about this for X amount of years. Before there was even a black cosplay documentary, I've been talking about this, and I missed the ball, and I'm hard on myself. I get that.
So this is no more your project. This is our project.
Right.
You have to put people in ownership of this, because when they feel this, when they feel a gathering, they feel excitement when they have something that they are putting their name on, right? Once they start putting their name on something, people act differently. No offense to anybody out there, not trying to put no other people on blast, nothing like that. But we as individuals, now I'm not talking about just blacks, but we as individuals, when your name is on something, you tend to, and I'm talking about personal name, you tend to work harder at it because your name is on it than you would if somebody else's name on it. And how you talk about it. If you talk about it like this is me, 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 go, what that song is? That song, you guys probably too young for that.
95.
Yeah, so, me, what's that, that was JoJo, right? No, it wasn't. But anyways, but if you talk about me, 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 then they're not going to gather the mission, the focus. But if we start changing the word mean everything to this is our goal, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to get it done, that's a totally different conversation.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem when I don't have a team. I said I'm trying to do a team this year. And like you said, it's like you put yourself into it. And I'm trying to extend myself, like I have a quality that I want for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not always the sharpest quality, I still have this level I want for my quality. So anybody try to get into it, like, hey, I need you to be basically at a con when the door opens, and we're going to leave when the con ends. We're going to be on our feet the whole time. Can you handle that? I should not be like that. I should not give somebody what I do to them, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I should find what they're good at,
Mm-hmm.
and then let them do that, and then take that little bit of pressure off me. But that's the problem. I can't do that because imposter syndrome. Going back to that.
Right. Is it imposter syndrome or is the word narcissism? Is that a good word? So is it imposter syndrome or is it narcissistic to where you want to control everything? Because I get it. You have to for you to get the brand that you want to, you definitely got to control it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then control is only so much of a level, right? Because you cannot, in this industry, in anything that you do, you cannot do this alone. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You can only get so far. Once you're going to get so far, you're going to get burnt out because you did everything, and you're going to lose other things around you that were good quality individuals, good quality people, good quality stuff. You're going to lose that because of that narcissistic, and I'm not trying to say this in a negative way. This is acknowledgement, right? Because I'm not big on negative. I don't even like that word because everyone's narcissistic to me. Like, everyone has quality. It is. But the biggest thing to keep in mind is that, is this really an imposter syndrome or is it narcissism to where I just don't want to let go because this is me, and this is my livelihood. But you have to remember is that this could be their livelihood too, right? So give them control so that they can have a livelihood too, so they are able to make it just as well as you are, because they wouldn't be with you if they did not believe in you, and you wouldn't be with them if you didn't believe in them, right?
I have a rebuttal to that. Let me check the camera.
I mean, to be here this long.
No, it happens.
No, but you're a teacher.
I'll try to hit all the points in one answer.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Was not expecting these guru answers from you.
Yeah,
Was not expecting that.
Is that I'm sorry, is that an insult?
No, it's not an insult.
No, it's
No,
good
it's
insight.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm just
'cause
kidding.
I think
the whole thing about the team, though, for real, like I had somebody who's still been here with me this weekend. I told him no, just because we had a falling out, and I didn't want to risk my name with them being here.
You had to fall out how?
Camera's rolling.
You don't want to put your personal business out.
I'm not.
That's-
So
okay.
let me say
I
this.
think
Was it a professional? So was it a personal? This is easy.
Yeah.
Was it a personal fallout or was it a professional? Was it a business fallout?
Personal.
Then you never want to involve. Okay.
That's why. That's what.
All right. So
That's one thing I did learn from celebrities.
So
Just-
I've had people, and yes, I've had people, not me personally, okay, because the whole time I've had complete nerd authority, I've been married, okay, but I've had people in my organization that were imposters, and I'm saying this because they know, right? It's not if they watch this wherever you put, I don't know where you're gonna put this at, right? I don't have no shame because we've talked about it and everything like that, but I'm not gonna put no names out there. But I've had imposters where they believed that they should receive. So I believe in departmentalization. what information I give you is not necessarily going to be the same information I give you because you guys do different things, right?
Right.
You're in different parameters, stuff like that, because that's how a business runs. What if I'm selling, they're not going to give me everything else an operation person is going to do, right? So I believe in that same mentality. So the person that was in the group that had the imposter syndrome because they thought because they were number 3 and they want to be number 1, that they deserve all the information. So that person also was involving themselves personally with I have what I call a con coordinator, right? I find somebody that all they do is submit applications and put things in because that shit's hard. That shit's time consuming. I ain't got time for that either. So I believe in having a con coordinator, somebody that actually goes in and put all the extra applications, stuff like that in there. Well, and that person's kind of like a secretary too. So that person there will get more preview information because I need them to do certain different things than that person that is like a number 3, okay? So those number 3 and the secretary start getting together, pillow talking, start conversation about other conversations I did not want this person to know, and create a bunch of actually bullshit, excuse the language. But so I say that to say, strive in your organization to make sure that people really, it's good to have personal relationships, but personal relationships in a what's the word, mnemonic, in a straight arrow situation, but like really nobody's gonna create that drama. And so if you see anything outside of that, then yes, I think you should cut ties because it's not going to be good and it's not going to be nice. So to answer your question, you did the right thing. If you think that the personal is going to affect the business, then yes, cut them off immediately because it's not going to. I've been through that too. So yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. I was just agreeing because I've had to. I'm getting to a space now where it's like, I'll be there in an official stance, and somebody else I realize will peep that, and they just try to stick to me as long as possible. Like, you gotta go at some point. I need to like ditch you at some point because I don't need you around when I'm around certain people.
Facts.
I have similar issues in the past with other friends and outlets and things, just professional falling outs. Thing I want to say is, and I hate to sound like this, and this is definitely very narcissistic, you have to protect your brand, your namesake at all costs. You're the one that put in all the work. You did all the editing, you did all the running around and everything, and I'm not saying, I don't know your story all the way. I know you've had help in teams and things like that, but again, this goes back to me and you from last year, just using it as an example. You can kind of tell when somebody's not there for the right reason. And this year I had a falling out with an outlet because I know they weren't going to be here for the right reasons. And I was like, I'm disassociating myself with you because when you fail, and I will let you fail on your own, I don't want nothing to do with it.
So the question is how would that, I get it, protect your brand. I used to have the same mentality, right? Protect your brand, protect your brand, protect your brand. You do lose people in the process, protect your brand in the process. But the question is that you have to learn how to separate the two between business and personal. And so being able to separate the two, at the moment that somebody's crying or somebody's like crying out for help, that's not going to tarnish your brand or who you are, right? And so there is, based on communication, that you can have that, hey, I'm still going to be here for you. Because at the end of the day, let me just put this out. Regardless of what you had issues with me last year or whatever happened, I'm a person, I'm still going to come to you regardless. Because my mother taught me, don't matter if anybody had an issue with you or not, you still speak. You still actually, if they have issues or whatever you can ask a question for, you still be there for people because it's about being genuine. And I had a conversation about being genuine with my kids, right? So it's about being genuine. So I'm always going to be there, and it's never going to tarnish my brand because I know that this business is about people. At the end of the day, regardless of whatever your name is, and I don't have the highest brand, period, but I do know that if I take care of people, people are going to immediately take care of me. So then if I always do that, I don't have to worry about having a brand this, brand that, this and this, because that's what I was focusing on. Brand this, brand that, brand this, brand that. But you got to take care of people. If you take care of people, your brand is always going to be there. Because you're going to have failures. No matter what it is, you're going to have failures. And then how you overcome those failures is what's going to dictate your brand. It's not going to dictate your brand by keeping by staying away from failures. That makes sense? And I don't
No,
mean to
it
point.
does.
I don't mean to point.
Yeah, you
No,
good.
I
I'm
do the
just-
same thing too. I
I'm
get
just
it, I get
just
it.
illustrating. But that is the biggest thing that I wish somebody would say. Hey, because they were trying to tell me, but then and then also too, another thing I learned: you can't tell everybody everything, especially in your organization. You need outlets that you can have conversations with.
Right.
Like you and me can talk because I have no end all be all based on what you got going on, but I can give you advice.
Right.
But if I was in your organization, it's hard talking. It's hard talking to, and everybody. I don't care who knows, but it's really hard talking to your internal people in your group about situations you have going on. Like if a struggle you have, things you have going on, because they're gonna throw it back at you. They're gonna depend you to still get the shit done. Okay. The problem is you cannot convey that stuff to them. You need to convey that stuff to somebody else. Every CEO, every business owner, whatever it has a mentor on purpose. They have mentors that are outside their brand on purpose so they can have those powwows, conversations, things they need to do so they can actually build their brand. Those mentorship, it doesn't happen with people in your group. Like it doesn't. It's unfortunately it doesn't. Because human nature says, well, because you're a lack doing this, I ain't got to do this. Because you're not doing it, why I got to do it, right? And so when I had to learn that from the way is that I can't confide personal stuff or a lot of business stuff. I can't confide those stuff to people because it doesn't work. Now I can be personal. Hey, everything okay? I'm going through X, Y, and Z on a vague level or however you want to do it, so that they know that I'm working trying to get stuff done. But that's really what you have to do, and what you cannot do is do all that. Have that little personal stuff with people that you work with. I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't. You need people outside the organization to help push you to the next level.
Right.
Now, I think we all doing Dragon Con this year.
I don't know. I ain't
I
put nothing in yet. I will.
I have no.
So look, my goal to get Dragon, like I said,
That's an off-camera
panels. It's like because I really like to do panels. So I could do press, but I
I can
really
help
actually,
you get panels.
I've been trying to get panels with Dragon Con for over 5-6 years, bro. Like
Seriously, I can help you do panels. I mean,
Yep.
they already did the deadline because they stopped at March 15th, but I'm in the diversity panel track and the digital media track. They're always looking for new ideas. Like, to me,
March 15th. What is this?
May 15th,
May.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
May 15th. They already
Time
cut off the
passed.
deadline. I missed my deadline for mine. The thing that I found funny about you want to do panels at Dragon Con and you want to do press at Dragon Con, they both are simple things to accomplish because it's really about who you know. Because I've done several panels at Dragon Con already, and when I did it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. And then the following year, I was like, oh, another but then now the press thing, I'm like, oh, now I get to do press, and then I'm going to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's just like all the other press experiences, but it's just Dragon Con. These are big things to us, like our goals and the steps we're trying to take to achieve what we're trying to achieve, and they mean something to us. So again, I get it. I can help you get on panels.
Yeah,
I'm with
just
it.
to-
100%.
Just to
I'm
kind
with
of
it.
round out
And I'm trying
everybody.
to do press if I can.
Yeah.
Just to kind of round out everybody's point, I've been on the internet since '08. Like I remember when YouTube had chat boards and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like Samurai Jack during that 50 years because I've been in the same spot, but I'm just watching.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
You what?
Yeah, I made my first channel when I was in like middle school. Like when YouTube, like you could make an account. Say like I was here before Google Plus. I've seen the Ray William Johnson, the Smosh, the Reply Girl era, the Freak Show era from Vine. I've watched so many things come and go. So to what y'all are saying,
Even TikTok. Don't stay tight to it too long.
I don't. That's why I don't get invested in any app. I'm like, I'm here while it's cool, but it's going. If we'll see you in 6 months or not. I watch Vine come and go. I watch all these other. I watch Welvin the Great and all them
Yeah.
people rise and disappear. So it's really a tenacity thing. And as far as what y'all are saying with like community, don't let the numbers mess with y'all. Because if your name is good in certain rooms, then that goes a much longer way. Because again, I'm almost at 1,000 full videos on YouTube since middle school. But I got my following ain't that crazy. I've yet to go viral once, but if you ask certain people, I'd be surprised they know who I am. And that was my imposter syndrome. And now that we know more about this algorithm, we know it ain't our friend. Because my theory is that only one of us is allowed to go viral for doing something. Because I've dropped because we all got a similar sense of humor. I've dropped videos that are the same as one that went popping like the same hour. Theirs took off, mine didn't. I'm like, that's not an issue with that creator, then that's an issue with this algorithm, because we all got the same jokes. We all got the joke about, oh, everybody mama had this glass in their house.
Yeah.
But if you go to the trending, if you log out right now and go to the trending tab on YouTube, you're going to see this face 1,000 goddamn times. But I remember when I was first getting back into videos out of college, my friend, because I went to a PWI, so I was like, in 2016, 17, that election era, I was amongst the wolves. And I kept getting tagged in this dude's videos. I'm like, who the hell is Mark Phillips? And why do y'all, it got to the point I had to turn on RDC notifications and be like, I've seen it, stop tagging me. And then, that was a very political year, and I kept seeing the video from this dude named Daquan Wilshire, and I'm like, who is this crazy ass dude yelling about Pokemon? And then I meet this other dude on the internet named Ryan Davis, and I'm like, they're like the yin and yang of what I want to say out loud all the time. Then I come to find out, me and Daquan get cool. Come to find out, him and Ryan know each other. And I'm like, small world. So me and him get cool. I'm going through, I'm still posting skits. I don't know how they found me. They put me in this group called, it was called something else at the time, but it's ran by my man, your boy Rock Lee. Lee put me in this group called the Comment House, which got shut down because there was like a black group Facebook purge at some point. I forgot your boy Roshi used to run that group, and him and Lee know each other. So then, fast forward, I moved to Texas. They start this Facebook group for a YouTube channel I won't say, but one of the dudes hit me up and was like, yo, can I add you as an admin? You seem like you got some sense. I'm like, I don't know why you picked me, but all right. And I still run it to this day, get to DreamCon. Again, I still feel like it's all these big name people, and he's got 10 million, he's got 5, and everyone's stopping and going like, it's you. I'm like, are you sure? So I go and I see my man Lee. He's like, oh, you know, Roshi was right around. And Roshi comes up to me doing this. And I'm like, oh. And he's got a sea of people behind him. I'm like, oh, you want to take a picture for you? He goes, no, nigga, with you. I'm like, again, I'm looking behind me like, are you sure? My man Daquan got a sea of his like Twitch people, pushes him aside and comes up and just gives him like the biggest hug. John from RDC, who DreamCon is his baby, so he's busy every year, but he always takes at least a minute to come out and find me. And then what I realized is that a lot of us, like, we fellas, but sometimes we just be one-track minded. So we be trying to do something, the person who can help us with that will walk right by and not say nothing. So at one point, my man Ozzy, who does the shirt I'm wearing right now, they down at the V1 Tech booth, he was trying to work with other creators, but he didn't really know how. And I'm like, I don't know why. For some reason, I talk and y'all listen, so let's see how this works. So I pull Lee aside. He's like, you've done like 6 of my avatars. How have I never met you? Roshi, same thing. And then they actually, when he opened the store, those dudes actually drove down to be at his grand opening. My man, some of y'all know him as Zero from Holes, Cleo Thomas, was walking around just saying what's up to people. And again, I was like, hey man, I don't know you. Why did you even turn around when I called you? But since I got your attention, come holler at my boy. Same thing. They've been working together ever since. And it's I've had a lot of small existences in large places that have added up to this network I've created. And even with stuff that is like, I don't know if I can take full credit for it, but I know I had something to do with it. Like even with Phil coming to BlerdCon, he was on our podcast saying like, I've been trying to get at them for years. I was annoying to everybody in the Facebook group like, hello, Green Lantern, Static Shock said he's trying to come see y'all. Now I see he's got the main stage. So don't let the numbers mess your head up, man. I just be stumbling into places and it works.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm one of the people you're talking to. Prior to, cause I follow you and everything like that.
Yeah.
I was so nervous, like, oh my God, I'm finally gonna meet you. I've been a fan of your content, and then the whole thing with Urban NerdCon happened, and I put out that video.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that embarrassing.
No,
that's why I own so many tripods now. But
yeah.
But I was like, I didn't know y'all watch my stuff. I'm sitting here thinking nobody's watching stuff. All these numbers is just all my friends' extra YouTube or Gmail accounts, and they're just trying to help me out. And when y'all was like, hey, we heard the interview with Tony, blah blah blah. I was like, oh my God, Blerd Station,
we be checking it out.
Station, Blerd's Eye View. I'm like, I watch you guys, and y'all watch my stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, we ain't got enough resources to be stingy. So if I can see 2 people that do something like you shake hands, and I just, even when we were because what was it? We've interviewed Carl Jones, and he's been doing his like press stuff, and you know, my home Ozzy's. We've all been inspired by the Boondocks at some point.
Right.
So at one point, he was like, "Yeah, man, if you just come and talk, like I'd had to." What was it? Cleo had looked out for Ozzy, so I did a video. Where I'm like, it's on my YouTube channel. I'm like thanking him just because dudes unintentionally looked out for me 3 other times after that, not knowing that. Like he took a picture of my cousin and my sister at Disney. I didn't realize Carl was right behind me as I was doing this. I missed Kyle by like 30 seconds. So I was like, cool, you next, follow me. And then seeing how people get starstruck when they run into each other, even at this big stage and they big age, is so cool. But even then, once they like shake hands and start talking, I'm like, cool, my job is done. Who's next? So I'm trying to build like this super highway between each other because we ain't got enough resources for us to be beefing or trying to withhold stuff from each other, and it's a necessary thing.
It's all love. So, but it's been great speaking to all y'all for real.
I know.
No.
This whole thing was just to be an introduction to
Yeah,
you
but
to the
nah,
group,
we-
and we went on.
I just want to make sure,
man.
yeah.
My bad.
I know he's on his journey, so I just
Hey,
want to make
but
sure I
look,
got
I
that.
tell you
Yeah,
though,
no.
listen, you learn a lot of knowledge though. You can
Blessings.
take away a lot of different things and figure out what you need to do, how you want to do things, stuff like that. And nobody's here telling you to go any one way.
I've always seen
You know what I'm
my success. Real quick story if I dip off is Steve Bloom had a panel. I don't know if any of y'all went.
I missed it. I missed it.
I was
Yeah.
out with Steve Bloom. I was in line, and I asked a question. I already knew Steve because I interviewed him in 2021. And I asked my question because I was curious about this Baraka question. So I asked, and I was going to sit back down, and Steve was like, "Can you come and introduce yourself real quick?" And he stopped the panel, and he told everyone, "You need to know who this guy is." I gave him an introduction. After I did, everyone just like clapped. It was the craziest thing. So you never know what effect you can have, and it's just amazing. So I'm just blessed and thankful. All y'all, everyone who shows love around the way, past, present, future, we going up, man. It's only up from here for real.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I can't believe how much I actually learned from you this weekend too. Like not like in a disbelief kind of way, but like I just love learning from everybody and getting different perspectives and stuff. And like I told you last night, I hate this like gatekeeping stuff, like all this stuff that we do.
Yeah.
I'll write it down, tell you what you gotta do, who the contact is, their numbers. Just as long as you about your business, I can help you. If you ain't standing on business, I can't help you.
for sure, y'all.
But
Like what's the name says? Stand on business.
right.
Drewski.
But make sure you talk to your parents with respect, not disrespect.
For sure.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
Well,
Why don't you just
Love you
give
too,
us
man.
a proper ending
Yes.
for whatever this is, since you knew
yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's been a Blerd roundtable. We already know what it is. Check us out. We're gonna catch y'all next con. Check us all out. Respectfully, link's gonna be in everyone's description wherever this goes, wherever this goes. And it's been a great con. Been a great time. Appreciate the guys, and I can't wait to see them all next time.
Hey,
Yeah.
one thing, make sure you get your website. Stop focusing on all these social platforms like he just said.
Yeah, get a website.
Get a
Yeah.
website, bro.
Yeah.
Ooh.